is on to 51. And Descartes, he's not out on 29. 146 for 5. As Sumpal.
So Douglas 50 coming in, 28 balls, some 3 4s and 4 6s.
Pretty good strike rates. Very good strike rate there on the part of Douglas. Faces up now to 51. Sumpal outside the off stump and just Descartes not out offside. 39 picked up there by Asif, who's known more for his wicket-keeping on the outfield today. Based on the fact that
so Douglas 50 coming in, 28 balls, some 3 4s and 4 6s.
Pretty good strike rate and very good strike rate there on the part of Douglas. One of 2 wicket keepers in this Nepal squad. Faces up now to 51. The T20 World Cup 2024 stump and Descartes getting a bit of an offside experience as far as the outfield is concerned.
I'm sure he's enjoying it
on the outfield today. On that based on the fact that
so Douglas 50 coming in, 28 balls, some 3 4s and 4 6s.
Douglas pulls nicely, one bounce into that final boundary, 4 runs in this Nepal squad.
Douglas got into position very, very quickly indeed, and he really played it well. Away from just every fielder, he's enjoyed it. It's a man on the long boundary. And so Douglas 50 coming in, 28 balls, some 3 4s and 4 6s, and Douglas for 4. So the 150 comes up after 15.4 overs, 151, and Douglas goes on to 55.
You really want to push on here, and with good support coming from Shadrach Descartes, who's not on 30. The Volcanoes in this 16th over well set, of course, to get close to that 190 mark. As here comes Sumpal. It's the ball to Dylan Douglas, and this one he works into that short third man position, picked up there, 1 more run in the process, 153 for the loss of 5.
I think Sumpal a bit disappointed. He was looking for the Yorker, but it was outside the awesome, and Douglas came down, opened the face of the bat, ran it down to backward point, and he went through first England. You can see the disappointment in Sumpal, clapping his hands as if he's saying, that's not what I wanted.
152, correction to score. Dylan Douglas now out of 56. Descartes now will face up to the final delivery of this, the 16th over, as Sumpal most pass umpire by him, and a delivery that he hits straight back over the head of the bowler. Fine shot, couple bounces.
Sweetly played, bisecting the long off and long on. You don't have feelers in that direction, and it was deliberately hit over the head of the bowler, and into the fence it went for 4. So 60 on the card at the under 4 for number 16. Some 24 deliveries to go, and Descartes, he goes on to 34. Douglas 56. Sure, they will be having their eyes on 200.
Well, at 160 for 5 after 16, exactly 10 runs per over, with another 4 overs to go. If they can maintain that 10 runs per over, it's 200 on the board.
I'm sure they would have their eyes on that. So let's see. And
if you have a live chat on your website, but you're not able to respond within 30 to 60 seconds,
who comes back into the attack. He has had some early success. So he has 2 scalps, and now he's coming back in the 17th over. So Padel ringing the changes. It's going to be Douglas who is on strike under cool conditions. And Douglas is quite ready, but I don't think
Douglas pulls over mid-wickets, and he might very be caught second. And a bit of disappointment there for Dylan Douglas, gone for 56. And of course, a very important wicket there for Nepal.
A very important wicket, but an observation here, Eddie, is that for every over that Airy comes in, he picks up a wicket.
On the first ball.
I think the very first over, I think he picked up a wicket in his second delivery. The second spell, he got it in the first ball, and here it is for the third over, he got it in the first ball again. So he has made that early impact for Nepal, and Douglas very disappointed as he really dragged himself off the field. But he goes for a well played 56, 156 for for 6, and we could see Javadine Brong making his way out to do battle. He's one of the many Brongs playing locally, and he can hit the ball a long way. Pretty strong lad from the Ovia area, north of the country. And he joins Shadrach Descarte, who is on 30. So Brong, immediately he would be on strike.
Dean Brown faces up and gets one right up, but he does well. Punches into the onside. Long on comes off the fence. He's off the mark. It's 157 for 6.
Well, 157 for 6. And Descarte comes back into strike. He has been there for quite some time. So he would have to lead the charge here for Windward Island Volcanoes.
And certainly he has shown without a doubt that he has that ability, Shadrach Descarte. To face now to Irie, who's taken up, what, 3 wickets?
3 wickets so far.
And Irie, almost a 30-meter run, comes in now to bowl to Shadrach and walked nicely into that square leg position. Asif comes off the backward square leg fence, and he should have been the one receiving in the glove, but tosses it back into the gloves of Anil.
Well, you can see he's enjoying his field, the outfield for a change. And so the left hand right hand combination, and you can see the fielders changing over, so too the umpire. Javadine Brong comes back into strike. 158 for 6. Descarted 35, Brong on 1.
Here is Irie. And Dean Brong to this delivery. Works it fine. And player in that position picking it up. One more added. 159 now for the loss of 6. And just having a look at the fingers there of Irie, not on screen. Sorry, of Asif, who's on the fence there. They're heavily strapped, and maybe it's a situation where you might just well be given an opportunity to rest them.
Well, certainly, and well, I think sometimes it has become a common practice now that players tend to put tape on their fingers more for protection.
And wrapped on the pad, a loud appeal. Nothing there from umpire Butler. The scamper through for a single, and one more to the Windward Islands total in this, the 16th over. So the breeze have picked up a bit here, and this delivery hits in the air, and Karan is getting under it and takes a very easy catch. That's the 7th wicket gone there, and Dean Brown going for 2, 160.
Well, it was a short delivery, and he was looking to slap that, taking the top of the bat. There it is, short and really about shoulder height, looking to slap it somewhere. Got a top edge. Karan had short extra cover, had a very comfortable catch, didn't have to do much, and the Windward Island Volcano losing their 7th wicket.
And they're certainly losing their way. You know, since the resumption, of course, you had Dylan Douglas and Descarte taking the attack to the bowlers, but since then, of course, they've lost Dylan Douglas, and now we see Dean Brown making his way back to the pavilion.
So Airy has picked up 4 wickets.
He's picked up 4 wickets, but very importantly, of course, pegging the Windward Islands back, and from a situation where they were in a possible 200, it might very well be 180, 185 if they can get that far.
Yeah, so Asif Hooper, the left-hander, goes out to join Descarte, who is also a left-hander, and start changing bowling at the far end. We see Practice comes back into the attack.
So Practice this time to bowl to Descarte, and outside the off stump, and he cracks it square the wicket. 4 well taken runs there off the bat of Descarte.
I think that's a bread and butter shot for a left-hander. Short, wide, and he hammered it past backward point. That's the strength of a left-hander. And into the fence it goes for 4 at 164 now for 7. So, and with that boundary, I think Descarte would move on to at least
40. 164 for 7, and Practice, of course, will continue. But it's actually Gulshan from the northern end.
Yes, Gulshan.
So we're having some changes in the field here. We're trying to find Captain Podell as to exactly he's stationed. That's quite a lot being done, but here comes Gulshan now. And this delivery is wide outside the off stump. Scotty was thinking about pushing a bat at it, but even if he had done so, I doubt he would have gotten any bat under that one.
Well, he was shaping and he just watched it go by because he recognized that it was that wide. An umpire up front by him very early. I was signaling wide. So additionally, he has to reload and come again. 165 now for 7. Asif Hooper yet to face a delivery. Not as really had the best of series in terms of the bat. And has some 2 overs remaining after this, so not much chance to really settle.
The start to this one is driving and missing outside the off stump. And pulls away with a bit of a wry smile. And now, as you saw in the background, they're looking to replay that shot that he possibly should have played in the first instance. Total remains at 165 for the loss of 7. As we hear a spectator in the background belling out some instructions to the Scotty. This delivery is up in the air and one bounce. Fielder stopped it in the process, and one more added. But I believe he was just a little lucky there.
Well, he got a top edge, and he just lobbed more or less, and dropping well short of a backward point. When the sweeper at a wide-toed man was able to come around, cover grounds, and into the and save 3 runs.
So Gulshan will continue after there's a bit of a mopping up of the ball. Will turn now. There you see the playing that short fine line going right back on the fence. And Gulshan will continue. This time to Asif Hooper. Hooper pulls him nicely and beats the fielder on bounce. 4 more runs. He's off the mark.
In style. In style.
Certainly.
Short of a length into the hip, and he just pivoted and then down to deep backward square, to the left of deep backward square, who couldn't cut it off, and it went across the ropes for 4. So 170 for 7. I think there's still a delivery or 2 in this over.
Still 2 deliveries to go. So some 14 deliveries left in this innings for the Winning Island Volcanoes. They're 170 for 7. And I should very much still be eyeing that 200-run target. Gulshan. And Hooper was looking to work that again into that backward square leg position, but got it wide down the leg side. Signal there by umpire Bam. Didn't get any bat onto the ball, and 1 more added to the total. 1 more to be bowled by Gulshan, so it's 171 for 7. And Hooper wrapped in the pad. There's a loud appeal from the bowler, but Bam not interested. Batsman in the process picking up a single. That's the end of over number 18. So 170
leg by
for 7.
signal. I think there's still a legal delivery remaining, because I think there was a wide. So there's still a delivery remaining in the over.
So I guess our scorer not being as attentive as ought to be, misguiding me on the screen, but such is life. Is that one final delivery coming in now to bowl to Descartes, and wide outside the off stump, another wide
signal. So he will have to bowl that again. Total now on to 173.
.173 for 7. Gulshan.
Seems as if the pressure is taking its toll on Gulshan.
Well, let's hope he can wrap the over now with this illegal delivery and driven.
And some no ball.
Well, is he going to ever finish this over? And well, there was an opportunity to run out the batter there in Descartes, and the wicketkeeper dropping the ball in the process. It's certainly a comedy of errors out there.
It's total comedy of errors, and I think it was pretty suicidal on the part of Descartes. He coming back for that second, but the keeper really should have done well. Descartes should have been out by miles, dropping his bat in the process, diving full length in, and then the keeper tumbling over the batter. Really looking a bit comical.
Certainly. So we're still awaiting for this over to be completed, and a bit of attention being given there to Descartes. The physio's out for the Windward Island Volcanoes, and she will now return, and this is something we see creeping into West Indies cricket. A lot of females are being given the opportunity to perform the duty as physio. We saw it, of course, with the St. Kitts Nevis franchise. As a matter of fact, it appears as if the entire medical staff were all female.
Well, there's performing the roles. There's no separation.
So this has been a very long 18th over.
And it's good to see females are now taking up what was traditionally that male role. And we have seen it even in the construction industry.
Gulshan goes to Descartes. Descartes hits this one high, over, long off, and posed a bit there for the camera. Lovely shot off the bat of Descartes.
Well, it was in the slot, and he just lifted it. And that he is saying, yeah, that's what I want. Right in the slot, and he just lifted it over wide, long off for 6. And the total now 181. That's the completion of over number 18.
Finally, I believe it was a 10-ball over.
Yeah, it was a pretty long over indeed.
Some 3 wides and a no ball.
And 18 overs, 2 overs remaining. Descartes, he's now 149. 9.5 century. Asif Hooper is with him, he's on 4. And they have that long mid-wicket conference in, perhaps strategizing how they're going to deal with the last 2 overs.
Well, 12 balls remaining, 19 more will get them up to 200. They will certainly want to push over these two, Hooper and Descartes. Both, of course, they know how to bludgeon, if I can say this cricket ball. And the Nepali attack certainly will want to ensure that they restrict these two here in this the 8th wicket partnership for the Windward Island Volcanoes, as Irie,
who has 4 wickets under his belt, final over. I'm sure he's eyeing that 5 wicket, as we would say, a 5-er.
Well, and let's see if he can make some damage here as Asif Hooper repairs, and Hooper just pulls it into that backward square leg position. There comes Asif off the fence with a beautiful return into the glove of the wicketkeeper. So he's really and truly doing some fine work there in that backward square leg position.
Yes, he's doing some work, and 2 runs to Hooper, who goes up to 6, the total now 184. And sure, Airy would fancy himself picking up a 5-er.
Well, he has 5 more deliveries in which he can possibly do it. 184 for 7. Hooper at the end there will have different thoughts And Hooper this time goes fine. And Asif couldn't get there this time around. Well taken there off the bat of Asif Hooper.
Well, Asif Hooper, and there's Asif in the outfield, but Asif just couldn't cut that one off. And it went past him like a bullet. And into the fence for 4. So Hooper now into double figures. And the total now rushes on to 188.
So the 200 looks pretty much on the cards for the Volcanoes. They're 188 for 7, and this is the 19th over, with still some 10 legal deliveries to come. And Irie, who has certainly had a good day with the ball, picking up some 4 wickets, coming on for a little bit of assault in this is final over. As he comes in now to bowl to Asif Hooper. And Hooper pulls, and will only get one as Karan is in that deep mid-wicket boundary.
And immediately we can see Hooper looking at the bottom of his bat. Not timing it, really hit the bottom of the bat and just lobbed out to a deep mid-wicket area. And he got a single.
189 for 7. And there you see Bertel doing a little bit of mopping up with that white handkerchief. And I will now move in now, this time to bowl to Descartes. Descartes, that's into the final.
And he clears the ropes.
Wow. 6 runs there to Descartes. So I read an 89 for 7. And there we see Captain Padel coming over just to have a chat with his bowler. And just 2 more deliveries remaining. It's 195 for 7. So the Windward Island Volcanoes might very well be scoring the largest total in this tournament thus far.
So Descartes 50 off 25 deliveries, 4 4s and 5 6s.
So Irie,
he's scoring boundaries.
comes in now to bowl to Descartes. He's walking into that one and wrapped on the pad. Gets a single in the process. I believe it's going to be a leg by. It is being signaled a leg by. 196 for the loss of 7, and they equal the top score thus far for the series.
Well, definitely. So good comeback on the part of the Windwards, and definitely 200 is really on the card. Some 7 deliveries remaining. 196 for 7. I'm sure they would fancy themselves getting up to at least 210.
Well, Irie turns here at the top of his mark, and will probably try to make amends, this time to Asif Hooper. And Hooper hikes this one way over the deep backward square leg fence for 6. Well taken. And the 200 is up on the board, the 202 for the loss of 7.
Well, certainly a very productive over indeed on the part of the Windward Islands. Airy, who had 3 good overs, picking up some 4 wickets, really was taken to the cleaners in this last over. And both Asif Hooper and Shadrach Descartes enjoying themselves. Descartes bringing up his 50 off 25 deliveries, 4 4s, 5 6s. Asif Hooper joining the parties. He's on 17 with 1 6 and 2 4s.
So with 1 over to go, 6 balls remaining. We think these 2 out there would probably like to push on to a 215, possibly. You never know, up to a 220.
Well, certainly.
Well, it's going to be Sampal it is.
Yes, Sampal to bowl the final over.
And there we see Hooper and Descartes having a mid-wicket chat, and Hooper saying, "Look, let's go, mate. That's really take it to the bowlers. This is the final over. The bowler, I should say, with Sampal." And there's an aerial view. As you notice that the sunshine is back with us here at Park Hill. As you see those shadows. And here comes Sampal. First delivery of the final over. And Descartes hikes this one. He's possibly going to be out-caught. He is out-caught. And there goes wicket number 8. So immediately striking in this, the 20th over.
You could see Descartes so looking at the bottom of his bat, that coming off the bottom of the bat. But he has played a good hand. and really helped Windward Island Volcanoes to put a decent total on the board. They are now 202 for 8, and really he could be satisfied with his job. 55, 26 deliveries, 4 fours, 5 sixes. Really would have done it for Windwards in terms of getting over 200.
Certainly. And he heads back to the dressing room. That's
a bit disappointed in himself.
Yes.
And we see Larry Edwards making his way out to join Asif Hooper.
Well, Edwards will take strike. And he also, if given the opportunity, can hit it. And hit it along with Larry Edwards. He's known more for his off spin more than anything else. But Sompal was struck, I should say, in the first ball of this T20 over. Would like certainly to ensure that things are kept very much that way for Nepal. Comes in out to bowl to Larry Edwards. Edwards punches it into the offside. Mid-off comes in, and it's good. Good play there from Edwards. Immediately getting Hooper, who's the in batsman, to take the strike.
And that's very sensible on the part of Larry Edwards. So Asif Hooper comes back into strike, and sure he will be fancying himself and clearing the boundaries on a few occasions, but Sample would have other ideas.
203 for 8, 4 deliveries left. This one is hit high and hard. The fielder's coming around, and is he going to take it? Does so. And if there's one thing with this Nepal team, they have not dropped a catch.
They have done a lot of catching practice from what we would have seen earlier, and they are taking their catches. Their ground fielding is what really creating the problem, and we can see. So that's the ninth wicket, 203 for 9. As I think is what? Redhead making his way out in the middle.
So there goes Asif Hooper making way for Redhead. And with 3 deliveries to go, over the 200 run mark. But Parker is of such that if you don't bowl properly, you will certainly be finding yourself going over the ropes pretty often.
So some 3 deliveries remaining in this 20 overs. Can Redhead survive?
A delivery that he has to pull out of. And really and truly pounded in the pitch there by Sompal. And Redhead certainly going to
one of the things Sampal must remember that fast bowlers have very good memories. And Redhead, being a fast bowler himself, would push that in the back of the head, so to speak.
Patrick Patterson, remember what happened back in the 80s there in Bridgetown, Barbados, as this delivery, Redhead, looking to work it off the hip, didn't get back to ball, it's wide down the leg side.
Wide signal by umpire Byam.
But the story is that Patrick Patterson was bounced, I believe, by one of the Australians, and immediately went to the Australian dressing room the afternoon and say, tomorrow all of you are going to be dead. So said, well, not literally, but he
came
really
out with guns blazing,
with immense pace, and had the Aussie batsmen in all sorts of tangles. But this is a different type of cricket that is happening here. As Sompal comes in out to bowl to Redhead, and Redhead gets back onto ball into the offside. 1 more to the total. It's 204 now for 9. That's 205 for 9.
I think the final delivery coming up.
1 more delivery to come.
Yes. So 205 for 9. And Larry Edwards comes back into strike.
So Edwards to face the last delivery. 205 for 9. Sompal. Very long run up to Larry Edwards, and he cracks it into the waiting arms there of Pratish. And It's 205 all out.
Yes, 205 all out of the final delivery. And the win was getting 205, but Sampal coming on in the final over, picking up some 3 wickets in the final over. And really saw the demise, what we anticipate, what looked like 210 to between 210 to 15, ended up 205 for
all out.
All out. And I would think that the Windwards would still fancy their chances, having posted a defendable total.
Well, 205 certainly is a good total on the part of the Windward Island Volcanoes. And we certainly commend the likes of Dylan Douglas, who certainly had a good innings. Melius, of course, in the early part. Descartes, yes.
Asif Hooper with a little cameo to the end, and really would have done it for Windwards to ensure that they got over 200. As we can look at a drone shot, nice surroundings, really. And very appreciative crowd here at Park Hill as well. So one could understand, and there would be a lot of advice later when the Windwards take the field.
So that's the tent that is facilitating the Nepal team here at Park Hill. We are going to take a break at this point in time. There will be a light roll applied to the pitch here at Park Hill, and when we come back, of course, the Nepal team, they'll be asked to score 206 for victory in this, the third and final practice game here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as they prepare for Cricket World Cup T20 2024.
So just a bit of the scorecard. Keman Emilia Scott, Bol Kamal Airy for 12. So Melius Bol Airy 12, Stephen Pascal Bol Saka Dakal for 20, Kavem Hodge caught, Asif Bol Karan for 18, Jeremy Salazano was caught, Asif Bol Airy for 3, Dylan Douglas caught, Gulshan Bol Kamal Singh Airy 56, Darren Ned Stump Anil Bol Bortel for 3, Descartes caught, Bortel Bol Sample for 55, Dean Brown caught, Karan Bol Kamal Singh Airy for 2, Asif Hooper caught, Gulshan Bol Sample for 17, Larry Edwards caught, Practice Bol Sample 1, Nicholas Redhead not out on 1, and the bowling, Karan 3 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, 1 wicket. Practice 2 overs, no maidens, 15 runs, no wicket. Kamal Singh Airy 4 overs, no maidens, 44 runs, 4 wickets. Gulshan 3 overs, no maidens, 48 runs, no wicket. Saga Dakal 3 overs for 16 runs, 1 wicket. Bortel 3 overs for 35 runs, 1 wicket. And Sampal 2 overs, 16 runs, 3 wickets. That's a breakdown of the batting and the bowling lineup, and in a few minutes we would see Nepal coming back to do battle here with the Windward Island Volcanoes.
mountains. Aye, aye, aye. Man, woman, chai, aye, aye. Brown, Vincent, hands up high. And let me hear you say.
Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home, home. Somebody take me home. Hey. So many places in the world, so many beautiful things to see, but none of it compares to home. SPG, so from the hills to the mountains, high, high, high. Every man, every woman, every child. If you go to be Vinci, put your hands up high and let me hear you say, this island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say. This island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say. This island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say. This island is mine. Wait and say, wait and say. Take a drive to the countryside. Drop window and feel the vibe. There's no other place I'd rather be. Me Vinci girl by my side. I tell them all the while, we don't have no gold nor oil, but we have wonderful people, rich with beautiful smiles. From the hills to the mountains, high, high, high. Every man, every woman, every child. If you go to be Vinci, put your hands up high and let me hear you say, this island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say. This island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say. This island is mine. Jump and say, jump and say, jump and say. This island is mine. Wave and say, wave and say. Hey. Vinci me come from, and I will never sell out my heritage. So if you look for me, don't worry, you can find me up in the hills. I'm doing it the Vinci way. I wish every day